So it turns out I wanted to make another video just after the last one, so you will be seeing more of my silly face again. The thing that I wanted to curate this one about is about the death of the Manosphere. So for those who may not be acquainted with me or my squeaky ass chair, the Manosphere was a part of YouTube focusing mainly on content for men, and this content was marked by figures such as Andrew Tate and Hamza and this guy called First Man. A lot of people that were primarily talking about, the red pill, which is the belief that the vast majority of men are fed like a narrative that does not line up with reality and that they need to ascend, basically just copying Gnosticism with like, you need to do these rituals. Except instead of severing goats' heads, these rituals were mainly like going to the gym, taking care of your teeth, things that any normal person would think that the vast majority of people are doing. Apparently, this was news to a lot of men. So they found a lot of value in that content, primarily because it was stuff that their own dads hadn't taught them, and they became really like hooked to these online figures and developed these sorts of parasocial relationships with them. All of these figures are gone now. So I want to circle back to something that I did around 2016, 2017. I've told this story a million times, and every single time that I tell this story, everybody's like, huh? What? What? I didn't know this. I was Mr. Beast's first editor in 2016 to 2017. I was in a Skype group and a Twitter group, and there was a guy called Mr. Beast 6000 that was like making like little Fiverr videos of paying Fiverr people money to do silly stuff, pretty much copying what PewDiePie was doing. He was making videos about how much YouTubers make. He was making Minecraft mod videos. He started out with videos on this game called Battle Pirates, and it was all on his channel. He had like over 500 videos, and it was all just a bunch of nonsense. And he needed a video editor for this series called like Worst Intros. So I hit him up on Twitter. I hit him up on Skype. I started sending him like edits into his inbox. They were terribly made because I was 12 or 13 years old. But I would make them in an iMovie and then I would upload them to YouTube and then he would rip them off of YouTube and then he would put them on his own channel or he would retweet them on Twitter. And if you were to scroll down, for 10 hours on his timeline, you would probably find one of my posts. If I were to unprivate my account, which I'm not going to do because everything else on it is just god awful. But yeah, that was the story that I told to an audience of around 200,000 people on TikTok. It's a story I've told on podcasts before. And it has this sort of feeling in my mind of just like, man, like I really missed out on an opportunity here. Even though there's nothing I possibly could have done. I was 12 or 15 years old at the time, and it was not until 5 or 6 years later that I would get really good with Adobe Premiere Pro, with Adobe After Effects, with Sony Vegas, with DaVinci Resolve. And it was not until a couple years after that, after being a full-time video editor, where I was just like, I hate editing, I hate everything about it, and I just want to make raw videos, which is where this channel has come from. So it was a pretty long and roundabout journey. But I figured out the thing with my editing for Mr. Beast is that it led to me being exposed to a lot of the Manosphere content years down the road when I actually started professionally editing for all these Manosphere creators because I found myself entranced in the idea of like, hey, like these people seem to be making it big under the influence of Andrew Tate. Maybe I can, hire a bunch of them or replicate their content in some sort of way, and maybe I'll get big alongside them. And it seems like they've had a recent downfall. The person who I worked with the most was Hamza. I helped manage his community. I helped edit, give ideas for a lot of his videos. And these days, the guy who used to get like around 1 million views on all of his videos gets just below 10,000. And a lot of these can be attributed to Hamza's personal failings, as told by Sam Harborn, who was Harbonator, who led the Harbor Code Cord Discord server, who was a longtime editor and friend of Hamza's, and actually one of our managers in this entire endeavor. And yeah, he seemed to expose a lot of like the personal information just a few weeks ago regarding what Hamza's been doing, his shady practices, and it's really disappointing as someone that used to play a big role in this community. Not really, giving advice or anything of the sort, because I'm not a person to give people advice or tell them what they should do, especially when it comes to like dating or gym or stuff. I want to become more knowledgeable on all sorts of topics, but I'm definitely not going to get out of my way and go on the Fresh and Fit podcast. Not that I would ever be invited. So we talk about these kinds of people as if they're, heroes because we develop these parasocial relationships with them. But I think, especially in the case of Hamza, what was very disappointing was that, behind every single person that does the work is around 10 or 20 people that do the work behind the scenes. And as one of those people, it's very sad to see someone fall off so hard of their messaging, to not follow what they've been preaching, to disappoint their audience. And then just the sort of business behind it all comes crashing down because they get an ego and they want to get rid of all the people that are under them, so to say, managerially. And then they just get super focused on numbers, and those numbers are what begin to destroy them. That ego is what begins to destroy them. And they begin to underestimate how much power the people who speak for them actually hold. They seem to think that, oh, just because this person gets a few views a video, it's not like anyone will be convinced. That video can always convince all of the people that watch it. And if four people watch it, that's four people convinced. They may all like, they may all leave a comment, the video may be forgotten. There may be 100 other videos. There may be 2,000 other conversations that happen in real life that you don't hear. And slowly but surely, all of these people meet the end of their career. Similarly to how Tate recently had a fight with someone. I'm not sure too keen about the details, but he lost really badly. And this wasn't like a world champion boxer or kickboxer. This was just one of the average dudes. And it's really sad and disappointing to see that these people, after talking such a big game, of course, you could predict that somebody who talks such a big game doesn't really actually mean anything they say. But it's really disappointing to see that these people, after talking such a big game, really have nothing to contribute to the general, landscape of the world. And yeah, so that's, I suppose, is what all that I wanted to say. What are your thoughts on the Manosphere? What are your comments? Has it fallen off? Is there a woman-sphere now? Because I know there was one with the wizard Liz, which was another YouTuber who recently was found with her boyfriend cheating on her while she was pregnant, after talking for about 5 or 6 years about how to choose a high value, high quality man. So it seems like a lot of these people who generalize things and give basic advice really don't practice what they preach, or give any actual comments that provide valuable feedback for how people should treat themselves, and that extend to the vast majority of the human experience. A bunch of this is word salad, but I hope a lot of you got the message that I was going through with this, since I don't upload very often. So again, let me know your thoughts on the Manosphere and what's currently happening with it, and if there's going to be a resurgence or something similar or anything of the sort. And I usually try to end these videos off of a moral, but I don't have a moral this time. It's just don't give out shitty advice on the internet, and hope that people don't pick up on the bull crap that you've been giving out. That's generally a bad idea. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.